I'm Katie Daryl, and today we are at home and social with Debbie Gibson. I mean, boom! I am psyched to talk to you, my lady.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, it is the holiday season, and we have a lot of new music to talk about because this year you've just been turning it out for the fans. But first and foremost, we need to talk about Christmas Star. This is your holiday single.
Thank you. It is my holiday single. Sleigh Ride from the very special Christmas album, uh, benefiting Special Olympics all these decades, has been my big holiday hit. And, I've always I'm actually working on the full album for 2022, but this year is the single. And I'm such a holiday music fanatic, and I can't believe it's taken me this long to put my hat in this ring, but here it is.
Does it feel weird when you're making a music video for something like Christmas Star because you're doing it in the summertime and it's not like December 15th?
No, but we did it in October.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it wasn't that far off, and the holiday season is just inching like earlier and earlier now, to the point that I feel like it needs to go back really to starting after Thanksgiving. Because I'm already, listen, I say this lovingly, having a holiday single out, I'm already starting to get sick of holiday music. I'm like, wait a minute, we need to go back to that. Like, my memories on Long Island were like, we left my Aunt Linda and Uncle Carl's turkey dinner in Wantagh, and then we were driving, and they had like those, like the garland across the streets with the lights.
Yeah.
That's when they went on. But anyway, yeah, I loved doing that video. Like, it's just really reflective of kind of the behind the scenes, how it came about. We were going to do the photo shoot for the artwork.
Mhm.
And I was like, let's just do the video and the photo shoot simultaneously and make it a true behind the scenes, festive, not a high concept kind of video.
Sure.
So this is just really joyful, festive, and kind of features like the love I have for my team
And your dogs.
and my dogs, who are all like floating around going, oh, my mom's on another Zoom right now. Yes, I was like, the logistics of taking them to LA that trip weren't great, and I left them home. And then I called someone to drive them out. I'm like,
Oh my
I
God.
can't put a Christmas video without dachshunds. Like, that can't happen.
So cute, so cute. Well, obviously, you are a fan of Christmas. The new single, for those of you just tuning in, this is Debbie Gibson, and her new single is called Christmas Star. I have some holiday questions for you. All right, think it's not a speed
Okay.
round. You can elaborate, but you can also just keep moving on.
Okay.
All right. When it comes to holiday decorating, are you more a fan of green or red?
Pink.
All right. How about, are you
If I
silver?
have to choose between red and green, I'm gonna pick green. Like,
Okay.
green's like my favorite color. It's like my birthstone. It's the theme color of the album Body Remembers. Like, green all the way. But again, I've kind of gone pink this year.
All right. Are you more of a silver or gold?
Silver.
Okay. All right.
There's gold in a video, which is more of the art director's eye, and it looks super classy. But I'm a little more to like the cheesy, ornate silver side.
Eggnog, yes or no?
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
wrapping paper or gift bags?
Wrapping paper,
You
bows,
got to, right?
gift tags, the whole 9 yards. Yes.
Bows, all of that stuff. And reindeer, carrots or celery? What do you think you prefer?
I thought you were going to be like, reindeer. Do you think they exist or not? And I was ready with, of course they exist. I've heard them on the roof. Um, Carrots or celery? I'm going to go celery. I just don't like carrots personally, so I am projecting that onto the reindeer.
There you go. Well, 2021 has been a big year for you musically. For those of you just tuning in, I'm Katie Daryl. She's Debbie Gibson, and this is At Home and Social on Access TV. Your 10th studio album, your first album in 20 years, was just released this summer of 2021. It was called The Body Remembers. Oh, I mean, that's a sexy title.
Thank you. I think it's a visceral title. Like, that's my word for it, because it just really reflects what music makes us feel. I
Mhm.
mean, the body remembers that first kiss. It remembers what song was playing. It
Mhm.
remembers physical and emotional pain you've been through in your life and trauma and all of it. And I am a very visceral person. I really feel like the music on this album paints a picture of my life. And I think a lot of people's lives, in the sense that I'm someone who feels all the feels. I go through all the angst in every situation that life throws at me. But then I try to, as quickly as I'm through it, flip it to something positive and inspirational for myself and for other people. And that's really the theme of this album. There are songs like I'm a country music fan for that reason because those songs always have a twist.
Yeah.
They have a twist. And I like that. I like that because that's life. It's like if you can flip the script at a certain point. It's like I will vent and whine and be in anguish, but only for so long. And then I'm like, okay, do I want to stay here? Where do I want to go with this? And can this fuel me? And so this album is like very big on the production details. I mean, it's a highly produced album because I had that kind of energy during the pandemic. I was like, I had that like fight in me.
I want to talk about the production. And the progress of production, because you've been in the music industry for so long. We got to know you as a 16-year-old. I know you were making music before then, but I mean, obviously, you've seen a production studio advance leaps and bounds. Are there things that you miss about the old school recording studios? Are there things that you prefer about what's happening now? What are your tendencies? What do you lean towards in the production studio, likes and dislikes?
Well, so I've been through the unique experience as a lot of people have who started when I started or before. I mean, I went through like I'm going to sound really techie for a minute, just like warning, like I'm going to geek out because I had like the Tascam 4-track when I was 13 years old. I had a Lin rack mount sequencer. I was like doing my own patch bay, which looked like, like a telephone operator switchboard, if you will. But I liked that, again, to use this word, visceral. Everything was visual and visceral. You could see, oh, I'm connecting this reverb to this vocal track. I'm like, so everything kind of being in the box, being in the laptop, it's it made me veer away from technology and just go to the creative. So now I'm going to want to work with someone who is proficient in that. And also, so I skipped a lot of beats. So I went from that to like a 12 track I went to a Neve 48 track with flying faders, which was my favorite thing because you're moving a fader up and it's snapping back to where it was. So you're like self-mixing. You can see it. You can actually see it, and I'm very visual. So I very much enjoyed that. But then, that's millions of dollars and like a lot of square footage in your house, right? And that became dated. And it was like, you could not pawn that stuff off on people because that suddenly it was like just it was dated. So, when I went on to do a lot of Broadway and stuff, I wasn't as focused. You have to keep up with technology to be proficient in it. So Sean Thomas, who's now 20, who started working on this album with me when he was like 17,
Wow.
he is the most skilled. Like, he's got the musical chops, but he's got the technical chops. It's like what I maybe coulda, woulda, shoulda been at 16 if I was in this generation. But
Sure.
this generation, like they came into the world with some other kind of DNA. I don't know what it is, with the bandwidth to understand this new technology because they're born into a world where, I feel like by 6 years old they're posting things on social media. Not quite.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So the multitasking chip of like I'm posting, I'm this, I'm programming, I'm playing, and so I defer to him. Like he's the one who, like, if you hear sounds where you're like, wow, those are really relevant synth sounds, that's him.
Yeah.
Now my ear goes to that in terms of my musical taste because I listen to current music. Like I'm not the person who thinks everything great was done 30 years ago. I think we get a warm, and this is also
Although most things great were.
But this is also where the title comes from. It's like, I love what's great to love about nostalgia. I love the way it makes me feel. I think what people want from nostalgic things is the feeling. they want to feel that feeling they felt when their life was more uncomplicated, right? And so the musical sounds that have a sound of then and now, which a lot of musical sounds do, to me, it's the tying of the two together that's my taste. And that's what kind of made this album for me. It's like, wow, like if someone knows me, I'm about to talk about say my name in the third party, which is terribly obnoxious, but I'm aware I'm doing it. If someone's like, that sounds very Debbie Gibson, like it's still my voice, it's still my
Yeah.
melodic sensibility, it's still the hooky, like unashamedly catchy hooky qualities that I like in pop music, but it's still now. Like because those sounds are created by a 20-year-old.
For those of you just tuning in, I'm Katie Daryl. She is Debbie Gibson, and this is At Home and Social on Access TV. Christmas Star is the new Christmas single from Debbie, and her 2021 album is called The Body Remembers. I'd like to talk about dancing because all of your music has just this club vibe. I mean, well, not all. Obviously, there's slower stuff, but I mean, it's club music. It's dancing. Do you dance to your own music? And not in a vain way, but some people, there's actresses who say like, I've never even watched one of my movies. I can't stand it. When you leave the studio and the finished product, do you come back and do you listen to it? Do you dance to it? Or do you
And
get
that's such a
embarrassed
great
by it?
question. So the excitement of like when you're fine tuning it and you're making the music, like, yes, I'm dancing to it. And I like, if I'm not the biggest fan of my music, who's gonna be? And then there comes a point where I need distance from it, which
Mhm.
happened kind of recently because like I was so involved in like the minutia of frequencies and details and breaths and pitch and that I'm like, oh my God, I have to step away.
Mhm.
But today, my like Deborah's playlist on my Apple Music threw the song The Body Remembers in, like knowing like that my own song's my taste.
Yeah.
The Weekend and Ariana and all these other JP Sachs, and it's like The Body Remembers comes on, and I was like dolling up and doing this to it, and I was able to listen to it, kind of like proud of it as the creator, but also like objectively just like, hey, this is a cool song, like it. So it's interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of dancey music, and my career actually started in the clubs with Only in My Dreams. And even though that was so poppy, it's so poppy to us now. That was like hardcore club music at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of the biggest selling 12 inches of the year. Little Louis Vega's remix of it, and Shep
Right.
Pettibone was remixing the Electric Youth stuff, and so I have roots in the clubs. Oddly, even though I was at an age where I wasn't old enough to walk in the front door of a club, my career started with club audiences.
Isn't that just bonkers to think you couldn't go in, but you
Yeah, and I don't think half the club owners knew that I was underage or cared. And
Sure.
my mom was like, going in and collecting the money up front from these mafiosa club owners, drag queens, you name it. She'd be like, kids, if I'm not back in 20 minutes, coming after me. And me and my two gay backup dancers and my older sister Karen, who I just reminisced with the other day about all this, because she was 21 and doing sound and lights for me. She was like super techie. She was studying
Yeah.
music production, and it was like the Von Trapp family playing clubs like all over
Mhm.
the country, including East LA. I mean, it was grittier than people would think.
Mhm.
We all just kind of like took a deep breath and we were like, okay, there's the stage. Like to me, it was about the stage and the people.
Right.
And I kind of like had to block out exactly where I was to make it make sense for my 16-year-old psyche.
Well, and that 16-year-old has a Guinness World Record, Guinness Book Record, which is pretty cool. So let me make sure I'm getting it right. You were the youngest at 16 female to write, produce, perform a #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100.
Yeah, so at the time I was the youngest person, period, male or female.
Oh, right. And then now
And
it's female.
Soldier Boy, and I never looked up like what his birthday was, but he was also 17, but he beat me by a matter of months or minutes or whatever. Darn that Soldier Boy. No, I was happy about it. I was like, thank the Lord there's like someone like doing all the writing and producing.
Sure.
And yeah, so then I became, but I'm still the youngest female, which is also, to use your amazing word, bonkers. Because,
You're
like
welcome.
I'm kind of like, come on, girls. I want like, listen,
Sure.
my ego does not want anyone to break my record. But like I really do want to pass that torch and be
Mm-hmm.
like, come on, little girls, do it. Like, do it. Like, without collaborators, just get in the room with GarageBand or whatever you're using and just create.
Well, it's just like when I was just interviewing Belinda Carlisle and we were talking about the Go-Go's, right? And they hold a record similar to yours in the fact that they're the only all-female band to have a #1 hit. And they also they played their instruments. Golly gee, ladies, good for you.
Right, right,
And I'm
right,
like,
right.
how has no one else done this since then? It is insane to think that these records
Yeah.
are lasting for so long. But I guess it's kind of like what you were saying earlier. These younger artists know so much of the techie stuff and they're multitasking, and then there's other people coming in and collaborating, that there are a lot of hands in the pot these days.
Yes. So I remember at a certain point about a decade ago, I met with one of the big publishing companies because I write prolifically. I write all the time. I can't keep up. You will never hear all the songs I've written because there's a lot. So I was like, oh, I want to write for other people. I want these songs out there. And when I met with the head of the company, he's like, you're going to have to sit in a room with 14 people and everyone's going to get a credit. And some are really writing and some are not. Some are just like, and so it's a whole political dance. And he said, like, he goes, the fact that your first couple of albums were like all songs written by, he goes, you only see that like occasionally now in country, but not even so much. So it is.
And back,
There
right?
you go. And back. I love that. And back. Yes. But like, and George Michael, that's why I was so enamored. One of the many reasons I was so enamored with him, because like you knew he was like in that room by himself and this was his vision.
Mm-hmm.
And it had a vision and it didn't sound like anybody had their hands in it. And that's what resonated for people, you
Yeah.
know? So it's interesting though, because I bet the Go Go's, much like myself,
Mm-hmm.
had to fight back then for the power to do it and have it be released with our pure vision. And yet that only lasted for a minute and now it's back to like,
Yeah.
you know. But with that said, there is a Taylor Swift and a Lorde and
Mm-hmm.
an Olivia Rodrigo and a lot of girls, Billie Eilish, of course.
Sure.
I do feel like we're getting their pure vision. And if they have a trusted collaborator or two or more, like I do on The Body Remembers, like I opened the collaboration door way open because I'm not out to prove I can do it by myself. I know I can do it by myself. You know I can do it by myself. Who
Yeah.
cares? So now for me, collaborating is more fun because now I'm like, please, someone bring something else out in me. Not the song,
Sure.
but only the songs I'm going to write by myself. So when someone sends me a track and it inspires something I know I never would have written had I not heard that track, that excites me. And it excites me for the ride to be about a lot of people and not just me. So it's been fun in that way.
This is At Home and Social. I'm Katie Daryl. She is Debbie Gibson. I could talk to you forever because I've got 100 more questions, but I know we're running up against the clock. I don't even think we're going to get to talking about, your onstage acting and on Broadway because I need to go down a different rabbit hole and it's going to
Okay,
get
okay.
weird. Okay. Um,
I
in
told you before we went on the air, I talk a lot. I tend to go off like there's no short answer.
I appreciate. There's nothing worse than an interview where I feel like I'm having to pull teeth, and it's a painful thing where I'm
Oh
watching the
no,
talk.
this
I'm
is
like,
the opposite. This is
oh,
like you're like with a sign like wrap it
get the hook, get the hook. So in 2016, you were the executive producer and you starred in a Hallmark movie that it broke records. I mean, it really did. It was like the biggest summer hit. It was called Summer of Dreams. You then had the follow up with Wedding of Dreams. Debbie, you now have a Christmas single. Will there be Christmas of Dreams maybe next year?
Oh my God! First of all, I love the idea of there being Christmas of Dreams. Why haven't we thought of that?
Oh, bring me in,
No,
write in credit. Boom.
no, there's been some ideas in development, and so it's all about timing. Like
Oh,
my dance card this year was like literally the first time I would have had would be now, and their Christmas movies are all already, of course, on the air
yeah.
in the can. So there's talks of it. So we'll see. Yes, my dream. Listen, I reference "Live Life Like You're in a Hallmark Town" this Christmas on the new song because I loved doing the summertime movies and the
Mm-hmm.
wedding movie because like I've never worn a wedding gown in real life. So yeah, I'll wear it in the Hallmark movie, and then it comes with none of the complications. I'll take it. But who doesn't want to literally like be in a Hallmark Christmas town every day for a month?
That's amazing.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
And it just smells so good there. I know it. I know it does.
And it's probably not really cold most of it. Like, and there's like fake snow. Oh man, I mean, sign me up.
It's crisp and it's beautiful, but all the that you're on like Main Street, and what you don't know is there's heaters under all those awnings as you're walking.
Right, and
It's
it's
so
Vancouver in
cozy.
June, but to look like New York or to look like Vermont or I love it. They have the formula. I love Hallmark. Listen, I'm a fan. I mean, when I'm not performing, I am in bed at 7 p.m. with my dachshunds watching a Hallmark movie. That's pretty much what I'm doing.
It sounds heavenly. The new Christmas single is called Christmas Star. The latest album from Debbie Gibson is called The Body Remembers. I really appreciate you hanging out with me today.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Stay safe, okay?
Yes, you too. Thank you.
Hey there, thanks for watching Access TV. Subscribe, follow, like, and do all the good stuff. And make sure you leave a comment below. I don't know, just let us know what your favorite Access TV show is, or who your favorite bands are, and what artists you're into, or just say hi, man. I'd like to be told hi. We love hearing from you. That's the point, all right? Keep it coming.